Justice League number 8. This is a James Tynion the fourth issue, so it's Legion of Doom technically. It's Mikel Janin on the art. So
Mhm.
the art's obviously fantastic. We'll also get that out of the way.
Yeah, it's Janin.
Right from the get go.
But that's all. That's old hat by now. Let me just say that I know that Mark Strong's playing Savannah in
Mm-hmm.
Shazam, but he misses calling playing Luthor because
Oh, okay.
Janin's Luthor looks like Mark Strong. Like I can't not see it. So
Interesting.
it's there.
I can
But yeah,
I
I
can kind of
mean,
see it. Yeah. So
yeah.
this was a pretty decent issue. I thought. I thought it suffered a little bit from being clearly the issue in between issues, if that makes any sense. I didn't feel like this had like
Oh,
a dramatic arc on its own to kind of like wrap up and feel like a full like when it ended, it just kind of ended after like it's like they had a
yeah,
few things they had to set up, and we get the Starman kind of like backstory a little bit and how this Starman came to be,
yeah,
and how Luthor went and got him. He went back to the past in the 80s to get him, and
yeah.
basically they had this satellite, and they were trying to like capture the energy of the totality decades before it arrived, and it beamed down to Earth and hit Starman, or hit him, and
Right,
so and behold, became Starman.
right.
And we have that. We have the Justice League set up for them leaving. Because this was the weird thing, is that I felt this one had a bit more of the Justice League than the last Legion of Doom issue did, in that it has
Yep.
them. Okay, right. So Martian Manhunter and Batman are going off to, or is Batman going with them? I don't think he is actually. Regardless,
I'm looking. Yeah.
Manhunter's off to get some more info from Prime, Thanagar Prime. But which, by the way, Janin's Justice. I'm just on that 2-page layout where
Hmm.
basically Martian Manhunter's reading the backstory from Starman, what's happened. And they mention that his memories is not intact beyond that point. After Luthor gets him,
Right.
Luthor wiped his memories, so they don't know
It's
what.
kind of scrambled.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they don't know what he did to him. But Janin's Justice League looks fantastic, as does his Legion of Doom. That next page, that 2-page layout where it's Joker, Grodd, and Sinestro, like
Oh, bro.
together. Look how good does that look?
Yeah, it does. And like Joker standing next to Grodd, it feels right. Like you
Mm,
wouldn't normally put those guys on the same page, and just the way that they're laid out, and then how it almost like they're the first line is how it's explained, and then there's these other little things that Luther's also put in the headquarters, but the way that they're spaced out, it almost matches their character,
yeah,
like almost the color palette.
which actually
So
is really funny because the whole thing is that these are 4 lines of defense to get to the prisoner, who's the Batman who laughs, and I love that Joker doesn't like this. He doesn't like that he's here.
no,
Joker's kind of terrified by him being here. I like as well when the Batman who laughs actually laughs. Joker says he hates that
yeah.
sound, and I'm like, that's interesting. This is very interesting.
Also, like I like the Joker's like he's a bat still. Yeah, he might
Yeah.
be just like me, but if he's in chains, it's because he wanted to be in chains.
Which, to be
I
fair,
know that from fighting him enough.
yeah,
Uh,
Batman Who Laughs as well points that out because he pulls out a pin out of his tongue and he's like, "Hey, I'm still a
yeah,
Batman. I still plan for this. I can still get out of here anytime I want." He points that out, which is really cool. Like,
yep,
as much as I'm saying I'm critiquing the issue for feeling like a collection of different setup scenes that don't necessarily link together at all, because you get that scene and you get Cheetah and Black Manta who are off to kill a god. Um,
yeah.
Cheetah's.
That we'll talk about that in a minute.
Oh yeah.
Um, but I also like how uneasy Grodd is, right?
Oh
Because we've
sure,
seen how
yeah.
scary Grodd can be, and he goes to tap into the Still Force just in case. In case something happens with the Batman Who Laughs, he wants it there. And so and what's funny too is now he has to care over the turtle child, right? So this guy that or this gorilla that wants to overlord over humans has to now caretake for a baby human. I think that's super interesting that
Yeah.
Tinian threw that in there. But yeah, I normally wouldn't like this. I always hate the Bat God, but when it's done with a dark character, that like, oh no, he wants to be here. Like
Do you know,
it makes the Batman Who Laughs that much creepy.
Do you know the thing about Batman Who Laughs is that I think on paper, if you just described him to me, and I'm pretty sure I might have thought this, but if we hadn't seen him, I think because we saw him first, I think we got an image of who he was, and that made him interesting. But
Yep.
if you told me on paper, oh, it's Batman and the Joker mixed together, I'd be like, oh, that's a stupid comic idea. It's just cheap and like, oh, gimmicky. but he's actually really fascinating because he's a mix of those two characters, and because he comes from this dark.
Yep.
This is a Batman who became this, and that's really interesting. But so you have that, but then you have Cheetah and Manta like, going off to kill the god, and all these scenes on their own are all fantastic. They're all really good. It just I think the issue as a whole feels like a collection of different things as opposed to a coherent full story.
You know, if they did like a quarterly miniseries, right? So it would, instead of this being issue, what is this, 8 of Justice League, and it was, you know, Legion of Doom 2, you know, I think it'd feel a little bit different. I know that sounds weird, but because this does feel like a Legion of Doom issue.
I think it'd almost be worse though in a way, because I think this will be fine in the trade because all the plot beats make sense where they are in the Justice League's overall story. I think if this was issue 2 of a Legion of Doom book, it'd be even more of a weird like issue that didn't really have its own beginning, middle, and end.
Because you can't read it by itself. I just mean that in the way like they are working as a team, right? Because you got the 3 that are staying back with Luthor, and then Manta and Cheetah are doing their mission.
Oh sure,
you know, in the same way that we saw, you know, Hot Girl and Batman taking care of their mission, and Superman and Manhunter, you know, for all those issues. But let's talk about Cheetah real quick, because she has the Tear of Extinction on her claws now.
Yeah.
And so they go to this lighthouse where this old man is, and we get to see some really cool Black Manta stuff. And to me, Black Manta's a character that's difficult to make look cool because of the big helmet, right?
Oh, he looks great here.
Yeah, Janin kills it. He's properly like menacing, and he's got that big fillet knife too, just constantly. Well, he's got the 2 of them. But so they track down this lighthouse, and I'm thinking, what's with this old man? And then you see Cheetah strike him down and cut out his throat, basically. And it looks like there's some magic going on, and you find out that this was Poseidon.
Yeah.
And that the gods are on Earth, which kind of goes against what we've learned about them in Rucka's Wonder Woman stuff, which I really enjoy. So I don't want to see that get thrown out, so I'm trying to make it fit.
You could argue it's just something's changed, maybe because of the totality, maybe because of something else. Something's changed and they've came down. What I like about this stuff, though, is that they're basically saying to each other, yeah, they're kind of ready not to trust Luthor at any point. Like, given this is a team of villains, there's no honor amongst them. It's more just like, no, our goals align for now, but the second that Luthor's not like of any use, like Mantle'll just go on his own, you know. And Cheetah, of course, is doing this because she's excited that this is sending Wonder Woman a message. I assume in the next couple of issues, Wonder Woman's going to find out about this, and it's going to be a whole thing. But no, the art's just. I mean, Cheetah and Manta in this look great. I mean, it's such a good looking issue. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this last scene with Batman Who Laughs, where he basically says, "Oh, this is why you never win. This is why you never beat Superman, because you don't." Where is it? Where's the exact phrase he uses?
Well, it's the chip on his shoulder. Is
You
that you have to surrender to something bigger than yourself, and you never actually do it because nothing's bigger than Luthor. And once you realize that, you're just a piece of this and you're not the whole thing, that's when you'll win. Which Luthor still, he has a look on his face. He's like, well, this crazy man doesn't know what he's talking about because I'm Luthor, goddammit.
But as people who have talked about Lex Luthor a lot, this makes a lot of sense to us.
Yeah, no, it does. And so basically saying that the reasons that he has to find them in that order is because they're pieces of her.
Yes,
her. And Luthor's like, she's confused. Who's her? And
we get a name. We get Perpetua.
Perpetua, yep.
Yeah.
And it says, if you look closely, her name is written in every corner of the universe, her history whispered in secret for all of time. If you unlock the 7 powers she once wielded, you will unlock her.
So the little ending of the book is the reveal that the totality they've got, the core that they got from inside the totality from the previous arc. We see a shape of a woman inside that. And again, keep in mind, this is small. This is like, I don't know, a foot squared maybe, a foot cubed.
Yeah. But no, it looks like a museum exhibit cube. Like if you ever go to a museum and you see something in the small. Anyways,
Yeah.
but Batman Who Laughs also said it's not just who, it's where, and that's where we get the same with Batman and Manhunter, and she's in that cube, just kind of hiding out. So we'll see. It kind of reminded me of the girl from New 52. What was her name?
Oh,
Pandora.
Pandora, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Who
Yeah,
appeared in
yeah.
all the background in the first
Yep.
issues.
But this, since it's not so over the top, like I like this concept, because it plays with mythology and whatnot. So
Yeah. Well, let's hope it works out better than Pandora, because Pandora was really exciting for a little bit, and then it just turned out to kind of be a bit of a whimper. Like, it wasn't really that big a deal.
yeah, no,
But no, I mean that's interesting. It's interesting where because it's just right. It's on that very page that Batman's saying to John, "Hey, don't try to personify a cosmic entity." But we've just been
yep,
told that it's a her, and then we can see like a figure. So there is a
yep.
personification of this thing. There is like a person. Well, maybe person's not the right word,
Mhm.
but there's a being behind this thing. So we'll see how that maps out. No, like I said, everything in it I think is really good. I just when I got to the end of the book, I kind of feel like, oh, that was a weird collection of like scenes that are just setting up stuff coming up. But all the scenes in and of themselves were all really good, and it all looks fantastic. So
Mhm.
I can't really complain that much. But
No,
so
I liked it a whole lot. Again, like I like seeing the Legion, and I like Luthor. As he's just a character I enjoy. So whether he's a hero or a villain, like the way that both Tynion and Snyder are writing him, it really hits the spot.
yeah. So what are you rating it? What are we giving it?
Oh, this is a 9. This is where I go
Oh,
a little bit hard. Yeah,
um,
it's the art and the story.
like I say, I just it feels like a bit of an in between issue as opposed to being like a prominent thing on its own. So I'm going to go with an 8. But like I say, everything in it's great. It looks fantastic.
Yeah.
This is more of a critique of just the serialized storytelling means that some parts of the story can't be as uh, uh, prominent or as eventful as other parts. But that's just kind of storytelling, I guess.